Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Gym Floor. We have special guest Loz in the house. We also have a returning guest, Jess.
Not
Like
special,
your third one
just
now.
a guest.
AKA
Yeah.
Voldemort.
Yeah, Voldemort actually made a feature. Really interesting episode. We went a lot of different places that I'm trying to remember right now. One of them was talking about like self-perception and getting in the right circles, finding the right people to be around to bring you up. We're talking about the lonely phase that happens when you start to become successful and or just like start to live by design. And then we finished off with a little interesting conversation about whether we're primarily driven by fear or by hope/reward, which was a cool way to finish up. Enjoy the episode. Don't forget, programming tickets are available. Link is in the bio. You will also find Loz at Loz_Read. And you'll find all the details on how to work with her, because you'll probably want to after this episode because she's a beast. On the website, just head to the STC Learn drop down and you'll see Biz Mentality Coaching. We're super excited to obviously have Loz part of the team now. So go check out the page, explains what she does, how it all works. It's got a little bit of profile on her as well. All right, enjoy the episode. We will see you next week.
It's an unfortunate surname not to like. It's like every second person.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
So
Everyone with the last name Smith just turned off.
Yeah.
So for the girls, we have had a shopper
Yeah.
over the last 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
I think they even actually signed up. They somehow got hold of the link for Standout
Right.
and signed up with a fake bank account and just like
Yeah.
got to go in and see all the content and shit.
Yeah.
And then obviously signs up to every lead magnet we put out. And
Oh.
yeah, so we're like, we have some suspicions who we think it is.
Right.
But we will never.
Yeah.
You're never
Say
gonna
that out loud.
never going to accuse people publicly.
But uses the
don't
name.
flatter them.
Uses the name Dave Smith all the time.
Yeah.
So shout out Dave.
Yeah.
We know who you are, bro. It's all right.
we've traced back your IP address. So we know everything
We
about
fucking
you.
found you.
It took us 17 hours, but you did not get to us.
And it also means we know your address.
Yeah.
So we're at Pick It Up the other day, going through their leads, and this name dropped up, and
Yeah.
we're like, this fucking
Yeah,
guy.
Dave Smith, like, he's fucking
Now he's shopping
everywhere.
Pick It Up as well. Are you fucking kidding?
It's like, this guy just let it go.
And I spoke to the guys yesterday, and he showed up.
Yeah.
It was a real person.
But it's not the same person.
Nah.
No,
Ah.
definitely
no,
not.
and we were just like, I wonder if he will actually come. And then
Yeah.
we had this conversation about it.
Watch the security footage to see who
Just
Dave
like,
Smith is.
Hey, can I see your fucking ID? to sign up for a gym,
standard.
what fucking gym
yeah,
is
yeah.
this?
I actually want to get their
Passport.
email address and be like, is this the same? But yeah, fucking funny, man. Yeah, because everything's
great.
just like David Smith. The email's so clearly fake.
Yeah,
But yeah, I couldn't believe it. They're like, oh yeah, he was like,
Fake bank account. That's
that's a commitment.
next level.
yeah, yeah.
Like lead magnets, sure.
Yeah, it's commitment.
It's
Yeah.
it's not uncommon though, because like in that same night we had like 2 of them.
Yeah.
Someone was
Yeah,
very dedicated.
It's flattering.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You pathetic pieces of shit.
Get him,
Get him, Jess. Get
Tell
him.
him what you really think.
Yeah, when we need something said on the podcast, we just bring Jess.
Yeah.
Sick him, Jess.
If we do it, it's still aggressive, so
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, for
get
sure.
him.
For sure.
That's
Yeah.
the
Get away with
benefits
it.
of being feminine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
called
probably-
someone a pathetic piece of shit for liking our stuff.
Yeah. We don't have.
Anonymously.
we
Yeah,
don't
oh, I
have
just
the
got like 50 follows. Yeah.
we don't have the dimples to get away with it.
Stop yelling at us, Jason.
Yeah.
Ben.
Welcome
Keep
to
saying
the
it, sorry.
welcome to the podcast, ladies.
Thank
Both
you.
of you.
Thank you for having
Welcome
us.
back,
Hello.
Jess, aka Voldemort. Voldemort.
Hold them on. I was like, have we changed
Yeah,
this?
it's new. It's new. I've
Is he
updated
from
it.
British Columbia now?
we just got a cease and desist.
Yeah. We had
Stop using
J.K.
Voldemort.
Rowling's in the mail.
Why is she Voldemort? Because you didn't say her name? Or
Yeah,
what?
She's
yeah.
Dave
One of her
Smith.
clients was like, why do they never speak about you?
Yeah.
Do they deliberately not talk about you?
That
Like,
girl we know.
Yeah. Yeah. The one that works for us.
Yeah.
We just call it that now.
That girl.
We
Yeah.
cannot speak her name.
So you're actually on now, so it's
Yeah.
fine. That buys us at least a couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
You do not have to talk about me for a while now.
Yeah.
Rest of the year's sorted.
She's alive. She's
Hey,
healthy.
nah.
She's well.
We got a Christmas party next weekend.
we'll be talking
all
about
kinds of stories after that. It's like, all right, strap yourselves in for the Christmas party.
Yeah, this is
wrap
what
up.
Jess did, and
And
nothing about what we did.
You guys only.
Jason's fired. Jess is fired. Ben is fired.
SDC is wrapping up.
Yeah.
We've had a good run.
Yeah. Thanks for all
wives-
your support along the journey, guys.
The wives and husbands now run this business because they learnt enough through us
And
anyway.
we're not allowed.
There'll be no more Christmas parties after this one.
An official welcome to our new business mentality
Yes.
coach, Lauren.
Hello.
Loz.
Thank you for having
Lauren?
I know
me.
you freak out when I call you Lauren.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually.
Who says you're not? You
Yeah.
don't know what's on for
It's only
today.
been
Yeah.
it's only been 2 weeks. You haven't been fired yet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Give it
well.
time.
Stay ready.
Yeah,
Apparently,
that's,
I've only got one Christmas party, and then that'll be
That's-
it.
that's when you know you've actually like made it to the inner circle. Is when you get fired.
Oh,
Also,
Yeah. I'll
So not
get
yet.
Like
fired.
Jace gets fired once a week.
Oh, easily.
I broke the whole website, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And she thought she was going to get fired, which is even funnier. We laughed at the fact that she thought she was going to get fired.
Yeah.
Your turn's coming. It's
It's like, oh,
fine.
no.
I'm like, oh, I
Oh,
wonder
no,
what
you
it'll be.
got to fuck up way
Way
bigger
worse
than
than
that.
Way
It's like it needs to kind of be illegal or
Yeah.
just really morally unacceptable.
Yeah.
Slay. I'll get
In-
my stuff ready.
Inconvenient for 7 days. It's fine.
Sucks.
Yeah.
So the only way I'm out of this place is if I have to kill somebody.
Christmas party next week.
Can you send me that Dave Smith IP again?
Coming for you, Dave. Coming for you, Dave.
Gets kneecapped. Fuck, what happened?
Invite him to the Christmas party.
Yeah, we'll send him an email.
Yeah.
Yeah. We as a
He'll listen.
yeah.
Well, we assume it's a he. Dave.
Yeah, well we
Yeah,
guess.
I'm just assuming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows? Could be anything. Who knows? Fuck, it's so funny.
We love him. We love Stan. Our Stan.
Yes, Stan, good.
He is our Stan. Anyway.
Yeah,
Lauren.
welcome. Anyway, welcome.
Thanks, fam. Glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, we are excited to do it. And we spoke about it on the other pod, but this one comes out first. When we sort of like joked about that, I think it would be a big surprise for us to. Well, it's a mindset. You're a mindset coach, right? Like,
Yeah,
kind
I guess technically.
Yeah.
For
But
those
that-
that aren't
but-
watching, she just rolled her eyes
of. Yeah,
back.
that
I still
reaction.
do hashtag mindset on my Instagram posts if that's an indication.
That reaction
Yeah.
is exactly why it works.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck yes, I am, but
Yeah. So we obviously have gone with the mentality brand. In your own brand, you have the coaching.
Yeah.
So I think what'll be useful, I think, to kick the episode off is to tell us why you just reacted like that and what makes you different from a typical mindset coach and why we use
Sharpen the knives.
get him.
Yeah, well, look, you don't have to attack them. You just have to talk about your strengths, maybe. And that'll indicate their weaknesses anyway. But
Ah.
yeah, so why not use mindset coach? Why go with confidence? Obviously leaning into mentality with us. Why that title?
Yeah, I think I'm more action based than feeling based, but I still definitely use the feelings to kind of propel the actions forwards, I guess.
Yep.
So I don't want to, shit on mindset coaching or whatever, because I think, everyone is someone for someone,
I agree.
right? So I think the people that are maybe drawn to the traditional mindset coach that, we're probably all thinking about when we say the term, is just not for me, and that's cool. But I guess like the way that I see myself as being different is I am that like live above the line, message that you guys preach as well. So it's not just like I'm going to sit here and cheer you on and maybe we'll talk about, some of the things that you're wanting to solve. It's actually like, okay, well, if you've got something that is holding you back, if you feel like you could be more, that's where I kind of step in, where I'm like, all right, and let's lay out a plan too. Like, especially for say like the business mindset coaching, like it's not just, okay, well, here's all the reasons why you're not doing the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, we can identify that, but then let's lay out the plan of, well, let's actually go and help you to do the thing.
Yeah.
I'm probably a bit more direct than, not probably, I'm more direct. I'm more direct than other mindset coaches, I think. I don't like to fuck around in terms of like, I'll just tell you how it is. Like, and some people like that and some people don't. But it's if I'm trying to speak to everyone, then I'm not speaking to anybody.
Yeah.
So I think I speak to the people who need to be told, like, hey, the reason you're not getting the result is because you're not doing the work.
Yeah.
So stop being surprised that you're not getting the results from the work that you didn't do.
Yeah.
And some people that will make them run scared because they don't want to do the work, and that's fine. I want them to run away because it wastes my time too.
Yeah.
But the people that resonate with that, because I think it's a form of flattery when someone is that kind of like direct with you, because it's me saying, I think you can do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I didn't think you could do better, then I would accept the standard that you're giving me.
Mm-hmm.
But I will demand more from you before you demand more from yourself.
Yeah. Which is fucking so powerful.
This is getting me fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We spoke about a few months ago, like probably 18 months ago, we were sort of like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like legit not sure what direction we were going in, and it was my wife. It was just like, where the fuck have you gone? This is not you. Let's go. And it was like, the next 12 months after that was insane, because it was like, I genuinely believe you can do more than what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people have that in a partner, in a friend, or someone that can eyeball them and be like, you're better than this.
Yeah.
You can achieve more than this. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that's cool, and like doing the thing. Like, it'd be nice if we just sell this shirt and everyone could just go do the fucking thing and it'd be sorted. Like,
Great.
Stand Out PT's been running 4 years now. It's 12 modules cycled twice, because the first one's everyone just goes, and then the second one
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe
it. Okay, now I'm all right. Yeah.
The first 2 weeks are literally mentality. Like, it's the first pillar of what we do, because the rest of it's fucking useless if you don't do it.
Yeah. I think, I mean, as coaches, you guys are probably all the same. You try and be the thing that you want, right? And so I guess like when I was trying to find like other mindset coaches, and I've worked with them and they've been great, but for this reason, because they spoke to me, it took me a long time to actually like take a step into that space, because I was like, they're just going to tell me what everyone always tells me, which is you need to slow down, you need to rest more. Like, yeah, I know, I get it. Like, yeah,
I don't want to.
Yeah,
like it's for nothing.
Yeah.
It's pointless advice to me.
Yeah.
But people still give it to me. And so I guess I was like, well, what would I want someone to say to me? How would I want to be treated? And so it's like, I'm trying to speak to those people where I'm going, I get it. Like, I know that you want to achieve all of the things, or maybe we're opening up that door where you are starting to think that you could achieve all the things. And you don't want someone to, it'd be like saying to someone who's, who loves the gym, oh, we're just going to put in another rest day. Yeah. Or someone who's injured. The perfect example is like someone who's injured, right?
Yeah.
And you go to the physio and they're like, here's a band.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Complete rest
I was
from the
already
gym.
yelling 100 kilos last week. I don't want your fucking band.
Yeah.
Like, it's that.
Yeah.
So it's like giving people the solution that is for them, where it's like, okay, I know you can do more, but let's work out the best way to do that. Maybe we've got to address some shit over here so that you can go and do the thing over here.
Yeah.
It's not like, all right, take a week off, because they're not going to do it. It's like, and then people,
Doesn't seem like it's relevant for them though.
it's not.
It's like the rest, the banded shit instead of the
Yeah.
RDL, the rest day of the gym. It seems like it's just generic
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, so I'm just going to go with what
Yeah.
I think is the safest
Where what you're
option.
saying
gonna
is
make it
like,
worse.
Yeah.
what's success look like for you? What are the obstacles that you have? How do you want this to go? And then you're like, let's fucking make this happen.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. It's working out like what they want and helping them to get there, not like me giving them some version that I just give to everybody.
Yeah.
Which is often kind of what happens. And then like coaches love to get ego hurt in all realms, like gym, nutrition, mindset, whatever it is. It's the client's fault that you didn't do what I told you to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's the person who gave them macros and they're not tracking, and they go, well, you're not tracking, so you shouldn't be surprised you're not getting the job done. And it's like, yeah, to a certain degree, sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's the client just not willing to do the work. But a lot of the time, the coach should be looking at themselves going, well, maybe what I gave them is not what is working for
There's a
them.
knowledge gap there.
Yeah.
Like there's something happening.
Yeah, like there's not one way, and a good coach is not the one who can decide on the one program that works for everyone. It's working out like the tools, and then going like, you can have this one and you should have this one, and maybe we tweak this one for you, and like meeting them in the middle, maybe slightly towards you, because you want to raise their standard, because what they think they can achieve is probably not what they can achieve. They can do more, but it's also, just speaking to them in their language, right? It's like, what's important to you? Let's go and do that.
Yeah. We see it heaps in the group calls in particular. So like every Thursday we do mastermind Q&A, and there'll be anywhere from 10 to 20 people, and you'll see like the new people come in and they're just like, what
So
the
overwhelmed.
fuck are you even talking about? Are you speaking French?
Yeah.
What is MailerLite? What is like what?
Yeah.
And then you see a month later, and it's like, that's the standard.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm developing the app. I've got this. I've changed my program. Can you look at my value compass? This is my pinned post now. It's just like so fast. And the ones that always are successful are the ones in the room with the other people that are setting the standard.
Yeah.
So then it makes sense that there's someone that you can go to be like, one-on-one, I believe you're capable of this. When you're overwhelmed, I can do this. This is the standard that we're agreeing together. That is what we're going to achieve.
Yep.
And it just opens like, oh, fuck, this is... Because it goes beyond business. It's not just like personal training is more than a spreadsheet or a whiteboard if it's really bad. You can obviously start to get into like beliefs about themselves. We talked about in the episode coming out on Wednesday, just like the stories of what's normal and the predictions of like, I had one during the week that was like, I'm so bad at this with Canva, and like said it 6 times in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she said, oh, I'm such a beginner at this. And I was like, fucking that. Just be that.
Yeah.
Just be a beginner for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So I think, having someone to be able to go to and actually that believes in them more than they believe in themselves, and they can show them something that they maybe can't see.
Yeah. A lot of them is just showing them themselves as well, or making them hear the way that they are speaking to themselves, like the I'm bad at this, or like the I always, or stuff like that. Like my favorite one is, oh, I could never do that. I'm like, shut up, you could. Like, because about everything. Like I got it a lot when I moved into state. People were like, oh, I wish I could do that. And I was like, you could.
Yeah.
Like,
you
just
literally
could.
can.
But it's like, you don't have to want to do everything. Like I always give the example of like, I will never say about like running a marathon. Like I'll never say like, I could never do that. I could get up tomorrow and probably do it. It'd almost kill me, but I could fucking do it off no training. I know I could. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine.
The why's not big enough.
Yeah. And you just have to recognize that, but take the sentence of I could never do that out of your vocabulary. I don't say it about anything, because if I see someone else, my metric, if that person can do it, why the fuck couldn't I do it?
Yeah.
And it's starting to get like that level. Like the self-belief is stacked on evidence too, right? But it's like, it's just starting with, well, I start looking at your own evidence too. What have I done in the past? What have I been successful at? Like, how could that translate to other areas? We often look at all of the reasons like why we couldn't do something, but skills are transferable as well. Like if you have done, you don't have to necessarily know how to navigate the thing in front of you. You just have to have the ability to navigate uncertainty.
Yeah. That
is a skill in itself.
The fitness industry is so wild as well, because you've got the influences or the influence and perspectives and beliefs that you have around you can be so broad. How many times have you heard there's no money in PT? Or big boxes are a scam?
It's not real.
Or it's not a real job, or it's unsustainable, or it's unsafe. It's not a safe job. Like all of this, you've got trainers that are making 30 grand a year. You got trainers that are making 3 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And like even within one club, you've probably got a variance of 20k to 120k. So the opinions and thoughts and beliefs that get spat at you every single day, like from little stuff like, oh, you don't need a direct debit.
Oh.
And it's like, yeah, cool. How many sessions have you not been paid for in the last month?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like, oh, no, just take cash and you don't have to pay tax. Like, oh, cool. Yeah, how's your car loan and your home loan looking? Oh, I don't
Yeah.
have fun. Funny though.
Wild.
Yeah. It's just, it's so easy to fall into other people's standards. And if you're already, we were talking earlier, like, if you're predispositioned to what's easy and what's comfortable, the voice that's the loudest is the one that's going to keep you there. It's like, oh, there's no money in PT. It's like, oh, it's not my fault then.
Yeah.
This is just really hard and I should just go get a job.
Yeah, this is just what happens. I want to have a family, so I'm just going to go get a real job so I can get maternity leave.
Correct. Yeah. Where it's like, it's not like that.
No. I have so much to say on this.
Good.
I think like a lot of people talk about like confidence and that kind of thing. I am very big on like confidence is built from self-trust, and most people stop themselves from doing things because they ask 10 people before they go and do it.
Yeah.
And that's just me. Like if you're the type of person who has to tell everyone everything and ask if it's the right thing, all that says is you don't trust your own decision making.
Yeah.
Because why do the people around you know better than you? Like, obviously it depends like what room you're in. Like, I might ask you guys if I was making a business decision because I respect your opinions and I respect your place in the industry. But I'm not going to ask, you know, like my colleague or
Uncle Bob,
a friend or but you see it all
Yeah.
the time, or this person said this or this person said this. And something that I want literally everyone to understand is people will always tell you what they would do in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not what because the thing is, it's well intentioned. Like, what else are they going to tell you? They're just going to be like, if I was you, well, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, if I was you, I wouldn't take that job. Cool, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
But you have to take responsibility for how many opinions you let in. Stop asking everybody. Get all these cooks out of your kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, I just do shit.
Because there's enough people that will just tell you anyway.
Yeah.
Like, without you asking.
So stop asking.
Yeah.
It's like, so choose maybe like one or two people and they don't even have to be the same people for every decision.
Yeah.
Right? It's like maybe you've got a personal life thing that you go to one person for, or you've got a business person, that kind of thing. You've got a coach that you ask. But then just stop. Just keep it there and start just like making decisions. And if it doesn't work out 100% the way that you envisioned, then you train the muscle of being able to be like, well, what now? And I'm going to go figure that out. But it's like you let 10 people into fucking what you're going to have for lunch and you'll just never do anything.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to tell you like, well, I wouldn't. And you know what? Most people wouldn't do cool shit
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
or push their comfort zone. So if you want the mediocre opinion of what mediocre people will do, sure, go and ask 10 people and then you'll just be like them.
I literally want to run through a wall right now. I'm so fired up.
Yeah, Jess and I had a big rant in the DMs during the week about like unsolicited parenting advice.
Yeah.
And it's just like straight away, it's just like, oh, you won't be able to do that. Or that's all going to stop. And it's
Enjoy that while it lasts.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
motherfucker, you couldn't do
Yeah.
what I do
Yeah.
now
That's it.
before.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah, I'm
couldn't.
already way ahead.
And I totally agree. Like,
you can't.
you couldn't do that. I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
But
you
I'm
couldn't
not
do
you.
what I could do with a kid with that one.
Correct.
Yeah.
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 And maybe I'll fall flat on my face and look like a dickhead for saying that, but
Doubt
I
it.
doubt it.
Yeah, we'll just timestamp.
Yeah. 12 months time, pull
Mental
this.
note, guys. Mental note.
Yeah, pull this clip out and be like, Ben, you've done nothing.
Like, you
for
know what? I
9
don't really
months.
like training. Nah. just-
Yeah.
I'm embracing dad bod, but not in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, super interesting how little access we have to those things.
Mm.
So before we keep going, I just want to give you guys a little message about our Standout PT program. So Standout PT has been designed for personal trainers who want to sustain a long-term career in fitness, but right now they're sick of chasing clients, they're not making enough time for money, and they're super frustrated with the results that they're getting in their business, and they can't see themselves being here in 3 to 5 years' time. If you want to know more about the Standout PT program, head to stcfitlearning.com, head to programs, and all the details are there, and you can book in your free exploration call where we can have a look and see whether or not that would actually be a suitable program for where your business is at right now. And back to the episode. So I want to take a totally different direction.
Okay.
And we've never spoken about this, and this is why I didn't tell you what we're going to talk about.
Oh, I'm intrigued because we speak almost every day.
We do. So the very first conversation we had, I was in a bit of a transition where I was like, more clients, maybe more business, maybe kind of had thought about opening up one-on-one coaching spots. And I had this reservation of like, I don't want to be the fucking business coach guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that and get that. Like, we run programs and we run education. I just didn't want to be the...
I don't want to be the failed PT who's now teaching other people how
Correct.
to fail PT.
Yeah. And I was really hesitant about it, and I didn't want that reputation. And I know you won't take this. You'll take this the right way. If I wrote down you on paper, blonde, 2 nose rings, tattoos, live on the Gold Coast, mindset coach.
Yes.
People draw an image straight away of who you are. It's like the stereotypical mindset coach, and then you speak, and it's like, what the fuck? That's not what all the other mindset coaches sound like, speak like.
Yeah.
And it was you having that conversation. I was like, fuck it. I can be the mindset coach, the business coach. I want to be the way I want to do it for the people that need it, the same way that you're doing it for mentality coaching.
I love that.
Which is cool, because the cascade of that business-wise has been awesome, because now we're all going to do it.
You're welcome.
You can claim that. I'm curious how you got there yourself. So we spoke in the other pod, like, was going to go into fitness, kind of wanted to get back into coaching, but wasn't lighting you up to talk about sets, reps, and macros again, which Jason and I don't understand. But
yeah, no, that's fine. That's why I like being a part of the team, because I'm like, I know someone's got to do it, so you guys do it. Yeah.
So did you think about that? What did you think about that? And then how did you overcome it?
How did I think about, like, leaving the industry?
Just the potential to be
my
like
image. I forgot
Another
the
mentality.
another mindset coach who's,
I really blanked out and had like a goldfish. I was like, there was a first part of that sentence and I just completely forgot it. Yeah.
That happens to me a lot. Repeat the question, Ben.
It's the second pod. It happens. It's fine.
I love being what people like don't expect.
Yeah.
Because I definitely know that what you just explained is me. Mm-hmm. And then I tell people I build apps. You should see when I tell them that. Like, they're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I know. But I mean, I've done like a lot of self-reflection. I do that quite often, and like sit with myself and like write things down and think like, you know, who do I want to be? What do I want? All the things I tell clients to do. And I have like a self-story, I guess, that I'm strong enough to bear it so other people can have it.
Yep.
And that's kind of like my driver. I feel like I can carry shit that other people can't carry. And that was, don't make me talk about my dad. I'm going to cry. That was instilled in me from my family. That just like, I said to someone the other day, I think I said it to you when we did our like partnership, and I was like, I called my dad, I told him about it, and you were like, was he surprised? And I was like, no. And you were like, what do you mean? I was like, my dad expects me to be successful, but not in a hard ass kind of, you must be successful. My dad just thinks that, and my mum too, like I know she gets sad when I don't mention her, but
Hey, Mom.
he just thinks I could do anything. I could be like, Dad, I'm going to run for Prime Minister next year. He'd be like, cool, when's the campaign start?
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's not even exaggerating.
I love that for you.
Yeah, so do I. I feel very, very, very fortunate. And so I have that now. And now it's more aligned across the board as well. But I feel like I can be that person to maybe like weather the stereotypes or, yeah, just like take anything in that realm. You know, like even if I step into the mindset space, and I have had moments where I'm like, there's going to be people out there looking at what I'm posting, being like, who the fuck is she to tell us what to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I always just come back to like, well, if it makes one girl out there block her ex and who's been making her feel miserable for the last 3 years, that's cool with me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Like, I'm strong enough to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, I guess, like how I overcome it, because I like being the person that's like, if she can do it, I can do it. Like, that's why I'm so big and still like staying in my, say, corporate job in my tech space, because I actually like, you can imagine, quite different from the people in that world. I'm like, yeah, I'm the only female. I'm blonde. I'm always covered in fake tan. I train like, there's no one else in my robotics team
Yeah.
that's like that.
Jace, does this whole room just smell like fake tan?
Yeah. I'd like to let you guys know I mace myself in cologne.
Just to get
Calm
away
it down
from
a tiny
it.
I knew what I was prepared for.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding shows, man.
I
Yeah.
thought about it on the way here. I was like,
Nah,
there's 3 of us
It's all right.
and one that isn't.
I've been backstage with
Yeah.
hundreds of sweaty humans with fake tan. That's like not even all 3 of your fake tans together
Combined.
wouldn't even be one person.
Yeah.
So we're good.
We need a group photo that's like, one of us here is not the same.
Yeah.
One of these things
Yeah.
is not like the
And it
other.
makes me so happy because usually Jace is like 8 shades darker than me. And it gets to be him for once.
I'm impressed with your self-tan job too. It's very
Thank
even.
you. Shout out to Aura Tans.
He even offered to tan me. I
Oh,
was like, that's
He
very.
friendship.
said no, the dog.
No, well, I was like,
Just
that's.
wanted to-
I was like, that's very, very polite of you.
Yeah, well, after
But I'm going to decline.
after old mate in the
new-
gym called you fucking sexy, I got a little bit jealous.
New age conversations. You want me to fake tan you, bro? No,
Yeah.
man, it's all right.
Well,
Got
that's
you.
like last
Got you.
night when I was
Cheers, King.
working. I was like, sorry, I was a bit antisocial tonight. And he wrote back, it's okay, I'm just doing my tan. And I was like, what's happening right now?
Yeah. Is this Amy?
Yeah.
Well, I asked my brother for like skincare products for Christmas, and he was just like,
No.
"What did you just?" I was like, he's like, "No," and I'm like, "What do you mean?
Let it be
Isn't that like
Out of
he's-
principle, no.
Yeah, he's just like, "Nah, man." It's like, you're like full driving and shit.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, whatever, bro.
Yeah.
Let
I'll buy
it
you a
be-
Mercedes keyring.
It's like I like tanning, gym, Botox. Fuck it, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Let it be
Lean
known
in.
that
Leaning in.
Jason posted in the group chat this week, the shit fucking slaps, and it was Frank body scrub. You know the coffee body scrub?
Yeah. Do you know what? I was like,
It's like I love coffee that much. I scrub it on my
Oh
body.
my God.
I was shaving my legs last
And then
night.
lick
and
it
I like,
off.
had like spots on my quads, and I was like, "Fuck, maybe I need some body scrub."
SDC Spa Day.
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah,
and I are
hey,
going to go
add it-
get
add it
toxin
to the
filler.
price.
Skincare is part of the nexus.
So Loz and I built another
products.
business for us last night.
Yeah.
Beauty products.
We're gonna start
Close.
doing STC 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all part of the.
I was about to give our whole business model, and I was like, we actually might want to do this at some stage.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
don't
not
give
going
it
to
all
shut
away.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Give it all
yeah.
away.
We are bringing the Gym Tan Laundry to STC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
STC
Oh, yeah.
GTL. We're
Yeah.
Yeah, we
fine.
even thought
We
it-
are on.
Laundromat's on.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
all
B2B
happening.
service.
It's all happening.
Yeah, we're fucking world domination. Let's go.
Where were we? You're not
How did we get
You're
here?
not the same.
not a geek.
You're not the same
Yeah,
as the
yeah,
people
yeah.
at IT place.
I like. It's hard to get back. I'll steer
Robotics.
us back. Yeah,
Save us, Lauren.
I've started just attributing different as good.
Yeah.
I like being unique. I like being, I say to you all the time, on any one day, I might wake up and train, do a podcast, build an app, coach clients. I fucking love it. Like, that's sick. Like,
Yeah.
and I can be the example that, like, yeah, you want it, you can do it. Like, people get sick of me sometimes, I think, when I'm just talking to people. They're like, oh, yeah, in a few years. I'm like, why don't you just do it? Because you could do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you could do it. Like, I just want people to understand that you could.
Yeah.
Stop telling yourself that that you can't. So I guess like in summary, I just like I'm strong enough to hold anyone who's got a problem with it, because the people that I'm helping just outweigh
Makes it all worth
It
it.
makes it all worth it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's it.
It's interesting, their story, and I wonder if this is what drawn you to it and if you've thought about this. Listening to you talk about your dad, I'm like, that's the exact person that I want to send one of our coaches to have. Is the person that they can go to and go, I put on 5 sessions last week. It's like, of course you did.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like, yeah, of course you did. Like, you're fucking good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have everything now. And that's what so many people in life need. But yeah, like particularly in the personal training space. Because if you go into the PT room and say that, they're like, what the fuck? Why? How?
What'd you do? Yeah,
Yeah, or
talking
it's-
shit behind your back or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not
luck,
as good,
or it's because you like wore scrunch bums or whatever it is. Like, there's some kind of angle that someone will try and take because they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And to actually have someone genuinely just look in your eye and just go, oh, of course you did.
Yeah. Yeah. People get afraid of other people's opinions, but most of it is just like them trying to drag them down because they have to make themselves feel better as to why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, it must be, even like, you know, being fit or whatever, like, oh yeah, it'd be easy for you to feel like body confident. It's like, I've been fucking training for 10 years. You think this is easy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not, but as soon as you try and explain it to them, it's over. Because it's like, I'm very big on like, real confidence is just,
Doing.
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, if they're like, oh, you know, must be nice, or like you work from home, or say even if I like start buying nice things or whatever, if I'm like, yeah, but I work 80 hours, no, it's not worth my time.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just, then they win, or then
Yeah.
then I don't actually feel confident. If I have to make you understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, it's over.
I had a fun one the other day. Someone told me I was lucky about my Sydney trip.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's interesting. Why is it lucky?
Yeah.
Like, I'm driving for 9 hours by my fucking self each way.
First of all.
Yeah. and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Why is it lucky? She's like, oh, you get to go somewhere. And I was like, yeah, I won it in a raffle.
Yeah.
She's like, really? I'm like, no,
No.
I'm teasing you. And like, that was the end of the conversation. She's like,
Yeah.
this is not like, really?
Well, maturing is when you realize that other people's opinions are none of your business.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally that everyone's always going to have. There's always going to be somebody that wants to take the easy route, and to think that is, like, I think it was the other podcast I spoke about, where sometimes that future, that ideal for them is just so unattainable that they cannot comprehend that you worked for that. Like, you have that Mercedes because you worked fucking ass off as a PT for 15 years or however long it is now, and you are so lucky to work from home for a big business, building apps and starting your own business because you've got the time to, not realizing you taught yourself coding, you left an industry, you moved out of a state in the middle of a pandemic, like all of this shit, and you're going to raise a child with this big business behind you as well. Like, it's so hard for people in that position to comprehend that you're able to work for something that huge when all they want to do is maybe one day not hate their job.
Yeah.
And maybe one day not be angry at traffic driving to work. And maybe it's just not, you can't get there because I'm scrambling to make sure that if I take a sick day next week, that all my clients aren't going to leave me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have to like internally say to themselves all of the reasons why you have it that is not hard work.
Yeah.
Because if they just go, oh, they worked for it and I didn't, well, that's
Ouch.
kind of uncomfortable.
Ouch.
Yeah,
It's hard to sit with.
Right. But so they have to come up with like some other reason. But it's like, fuck, are you gonna not do something because of that person's opinion?
Yeah.
Because it's like when you start getting in rooms of other people doing other cool shit, you don't hear from them.
Yeah.
Well, you might, but it's normally like, hey, that's sick, Loz, that you did that. Like, tell us about it. Or like they celebrate you because it's like, I understand that I can be successful and Jess can be successful.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have to take it from her to have it.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. It's not finite.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's enough seats at the table as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people like stop. They don't go and do things or try new things because they're afraid of people's opinions who are doing fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
if you let those people's opinions stop you, you'll also be doing fucking nothing.
Yeah, it's the people booing aren't on the field, right?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I
liked
did.
that.
I also like that.
Like, and to bring it back to the gym floor PT, like, if you're sitting here listening and just being like, this bunch of fucking wankers, like, I get it. You're happy. But, like, you know, I obviously working in the mentorship with, like, first year PTs, it's like, no, you can release a free resource.
Yeah.
You can post about how to do this online because you do have proof. And even if that proof is yourself, like, you know, you can do all these things that you're seeing other people doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay for you. You have permission to start doing those things. You don't have to wait until you're there.
Yeah.
And if you're having trouble doing that, there are mentality coaches for it. Like, not even to plug, but like, if that just seems so unattainable to you,
Yeah.
there are people there to help you with that.
And it's a good point that you raised because it's like we haven't always been here.
Oh God, no.
There's two other topics that just came up in that I have for today. So, but we haven't always felt like this.
Yeah.
We haven't always had the self-belief. We haven't always been able to be ourselves. We haven't always felt fulfilled in everything.
Still fall into the trap now.
100%.
Like I remember one time I said to my wife, I feel like I'm not where I need to be. And she was like, you just filled a fucking room with like 20 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did the whole weekend like when we all hung out. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
How often? How often do we say to each other like, "What would 6 months ago you say about your day today?"
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
today's
Yeah.
fucking cool."
Yeah.
Like,
So we fall into those traps all the time.
yeah. And
And-
imagine making that from 6 months to 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrifying.
It's
in a great way.
Insane. Yeah. And I think our mission is to provide pathways that don't take 11 years to be the level that, and I don't mean like level that we're at in terms of income or success or anything like that. The level of fulfillment that we experience every day.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
confidence
that's the
that we
goal.
have, the confidence we have
Yeah.
executing what we do every day and the joy that we take from it. We don't want that to take 12 years for everyone else. And so we are harsh about it. We do set high standards because we're the people that you speak to us and we're like, yeah, you can put 40 sessions on in 12 weeks.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, you can double your business in a month. Like this is all possible.
Yeah.
Like I had a conversation with a guy yesterday whose gym like just flipped on its head because he took the holiday. I'm like, it'll be okay, bro. We can fix this.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you 6 strategies on Monday to just at least get back a little bit so you can breathe. He's like, just straight away, like, oh, you should just need that person to be like,
Yeah.
it's
Proud,
okay.
Yeah, proud but not surprised by
Yeah.
you doing well.
Correct. And
Yeah.
if that's us, so be it. Do you want to say that? Or
Pardon?
you just agree?
Huh?
I thought you were going to say something, but you were just agreeing.
No.
So Jess prompted me something that we talk about a lot and we talk about a lot. And I have no idea what Jess's feelings are on it.
I guess we can find out.
So
What a perfect opportunity.
Jess is sweating.
Not
Fake
the
tan.
not the tan.
Sorry,
We're not allowed to sweat.
Talking about the lonely chapter.
Yes.
So the concept from, I think it's Chris, Alex, fucking heard all of the
Successful people in
all
their
of the
30s.
Yeah.
dudes.
Yeah.
do it when they talk about the lonely chapter that comes with success. So you will have long-term friends, you'll have family, you'll have other people in the gym, you'll have all of these people around you. Even worse is the fucking internet in general.
Yeah.
That when you start, we live by design, live above the line, whatever kind of tagline you want to use. When you start doing that, the gap between, I don't want to say normal because Lauren will bash me.
The average.
The gap between what most people accept for their life and what you accept for your life becomes really big.
Exponentially quick too.
Yeah.
And it becomes really challenging to find other people like that.
Yeah.
And it's for us, and this is like soz for the listener, but for us to have 4 people in the room right now who think the way that we do,
Yeah, it's incredible.
like from what I can understand and the people I talk to is so fucking rare.
Yeah.
So rare. And most people who are at listening or whatever run solo businesses. And maybe they don't have the guy they've worked with for 12 years.
Well, this is all very new to me. That's what I've said to you so many times, been like the reason I was so excited to even like, this came out of nowhere, like finding you guys. And this was the one piece that I'd always really, really craved.
Yeah.
Is like, I've always been this person, but I thought I was going to have to do it on my own because I just couldn't. I kept trying to, you know, force other like working relationships and just wasn't it because I was seeking that, you know, let's build the empire together.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You know, I don't mind working Saturday nights. Be sick if there was someone else who didn't mind it too and they were over there.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah, we've actually had weekend sessions where it's just like
virtual.
Send the message like, "You still working?" 'Cause I'm still working.
But it's nice. Like it's really. I've never had it.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of, pardon me, you kind of do know how I feel about it because like we've had conversations lately where I've been in rooms or like with people that I thought that it was like okay and I'm doing okay, and then when that like split happened where over the last 12 months my business has grown and my confidence in my abilities have grown because I've got dads here saying, yeah, of course you can sell out a program in 2.5 weeks, like, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But there are other people that don't feel the same, and I've not ever really engaged in like bitchiness or things like that because it's very much I look after me and my family, and whatever else happens outside of that is like, cool, good on you. But like being in this position now where it's like, oh, like, okay, so not everyone is happy for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, and like I'm kind of experiencing that loneliness for the first time as an adult and as a mother. And I felt so petty by being so upset by it. But it's kind of like, Ben's always like, just take it as flattery.
We saw it as like your rite of passage. We were like, she's here.
Yeah. And they just like sat me down with a coffee and I was like, it's fine.
Yeah. This is what it's like. This is honestly, it's like this is what it's going to be like.
And it took getting to this because I'm like quite like fortunate with the mentors I have had over the years. Like I have been surrounded by successful people. But being in this, like the support is like nothing I've ever been around before, and to come out of that situation that I was like talking about that's happened so quickly because it got me good for like a week. I was just so pissed off by it, so sad, so hurt. But these guys are just like, okay, like we kind of expected it. Like we kind of, not this situation, but you know, it's going to happen.
Unfortunately, we know and expect people to react that way.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is like us who is like, good on you.
Yeah.
And
that's something people don't talk about either.
No.
Everyone talks about the upside.
Yeah.
I prep
like-
clients for it.
Yeah,
I
it's-
legit, in the intro call, I will say to them like, hey, you're probably going to get some shit for this. Because again, it's like if they know what to expect, it's a little bit easier to navigate. But I say to almost everyone, depending on like the changes that they're trying to make. But if you even just start talking about, oh, I want more for myself, I'm like, you're going to get pushback. You're probably going to lose friends. You have to be okay with that. It's not that simple. It's also explaining to people that like it's not petty to feel sad about that. We are humans. We like belonging to tribes.
Yeah.
Like
It's a literal interpretation of a threat to your life.
Yeah.
So it's like that is a in proportion reaction to like what is happening. But it is, I think it's a required cost. I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it without it.
Can't really do show of hands because it's a podcast.
All those
Get
in
the whiteboard
favour say
out.
aye.
Just really,
I've just gone
really,
into standout mode.
really forgetting where we are right
Presenting
now.
mode.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Do you actually think the loneliness chapter ends?
No.
Can I let you know my own experience so far? Like I've literally only talked to you and lean on you about 99% of the things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can find anyone else remotely similar that's going to come in and like just be another person added to that circle. I think it's always going to be, we'll drop in here momentarily for this, and we'll momentarily have this for this, and we'll momentarily have this for that. I think I can't see. I mean, I hope it's not like that.
Yeah.
We're trying our best to change it.
Yeah.
You know? So I'll do my absolute best to encourage it and expand the circle as much as I can. But I'm also, everything I've seen and read and we've discussed suggests that it is also just part of the process of being a driven individual.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah, I don't want to put a label on it because Lana will bash me, but but yeah.
The goal's to be, it's interesting. The goal's to be a 1%er.
Yeah, so it's like,
But that means that you don't resonate with 99%.
That's what I
Yeah. And we ran that when we ran that math in a conversation, and you were like, "There's just less of us, bro."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And I
a
was
numbers
like-
game.
Yeah, so it was like, how are you going to find people when there's so little of us and we're scattered everywhere and we're doing shit?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
So
busy.
we're doing the thing.
Yeah.
We're doing the fucking thing. Literally. Like, hashtag.
It's not always saying no on a Saturday night, to bring it back to like everyone.
Yeah.
Just because you don't feel like hanging out because you're trying not to drink, sometimes it's okay to
Yeah.
do that to work on your business and know that there are other people doing it. And then
Yeah.
obviously there is levels to this shit. And the more you level up after the years that you level up, there's less and less. Like there are more me's at this level that I'm at where I'm not here, but I'm not there. There are more me's, there are less you's.
Yeah.
And you're also responsible for the me's.
Yeah. And to be fair,
Like-
like to be honest with myself, talking about my feelings so I don't cry later. Is like I the older you get and you have this mentality, you actually start to want more, and that you start removing seats from the table as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like
Yeah.
the honest,
Correct.
like
Yeah.
about 2 weeks ago, I even just like had an honest conversation with myself, and I was like, here I am getting upset about the fact that like I don't have this big circle, and the one that I had I was really happy and proud of. But then when I actually sat back, I was like, I'm nothing like any one of them, which is fine. Like we still have great relationships and really good times and memories. But then I'm like, I'm getting annoyed at the fact, and I'm like, but I'm holding myself to this really high standard that I know there's lesser people around.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I shouldn't be upset about that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm choosing to live like this, choosing to operate this way.
Yeah, so we were in a position where we were having constant conversations, like constantly, like, fuck, where do we go? Do we start playing golf comps? Do we fucking go to networking events? Where are these people? Where? And then we did the 2 episodes ago, talk about like doing the mentoring session, and he was just like, I have 3 friends, and that's it. It's like I have my family, and I have 3 people. You're one of them, and I see him once a month at best, usually once a quarter. And I'm also 25 years his younger.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's like, he goes, everything else is kind of transient. And when I heard that, I was like, people could take that as a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I think now I'm taking it as when I meet someone in the same spot, not even the same spot, and I think this is important for what you just said as well, where you sort of said like, oh, you guys are up here and I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't think like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's not a destination thing. It's not a status
No.
thing. It's
Yeah.
a belief and thought pattern thing.
Yeah.
So I don't sit down with you and be like, I have to teach you how to
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I sit down with
Yeah.
Jess and go, I'm going to get just as much value out of this conversation as Jess is going to. And that is all that matters. I don't care if you're on 40 grand a year, not even a personal trainer,
It's a value.
not even running a business. It's like, if you're interested in designing your life, interested in growth, interested in all of that, I want to be your fucking friend.
There's a seat at the table.
I
Yeah.
also understand that might be a friend for a month. It might be a friend for a year. It might be my husband. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand that those relationships are going to be like that. And like, just speaking earlier about the conversation that I had with Loz, I was like, this person needs to be around me.
Yeah.
If she can change the way I think in a fucking 15-minute coffee before we went and trained, I was like, I need to speak to this person more often.
Yeah.
That, like, you need to be in my circle. So, and then, like, she hadn't even started a business yet. Which is in corporate. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's not looking for, oh, we make this and we drive. It's not that. It's just, how do you think? And that's the 1% mentality.
Yeah.
There's just not many of them.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you thought about the fact that, sorry, you two, I feel like we're just having a conversation right now. Have you thought about the fact that, like, most of the time, even though, like, everyone has a place of value, like, you'd still like to be in a situation like when you were with Dean and he was like,
Yeah.
and that happens less for
So-
us, and you feel like when you go somewhere, you're the person
I said
majority of the time.
I said it to Loz in the car on the way here.
Yeah.
It's
Because
like, I'd love to, I can't think of a better word. Submit's not the right word. But
you just want to sponge it up.
almost
for a bit.
like, I'd love to be able to go into a room and fall in line.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about, like, the different dynamics between women and men, and how, like, if you're a high value woman, other women will see you as a threat.
Yeah.
And that happens way less for men. Men will fall in line.
Yeah.
men will go, "You're the alpha, you lead us," because that makes sense tribally.
Of course.
It's like, well, you're the biggest, strongest,
And-
smartest,
yeah.
whatever. You'll do the thing for us.
And if
so
someone
we'll-
else thinks the same, you'll fight.
correct,
And it'll be okay.
yeah, and then and we'll figure it out. Whoever wins is now the top dog.
Yeah, and then you're best friends.
Yeah. Whereas, like, using that same logic, it's like women would have to battle for the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that woman's got an X on her back instantly.
Correct.
Instantly.
From just not even an interaction, just looking at him.
yeah,
And I don't like the cut of that person's jib, you know?
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So I think it's interesting to. I have thought I'd like to be in a room with someone that I'm like, I will follow you.
Yeah.
Which is what I have with Dean, but the more growth I have, the more I feel probably similar to what you explained. Like, I feel like I can hold that table.
It's tough because you sometimes we just like by design just instantly just go and lift people up.
Yeah.
Like you just instantly just go into it. Like even when I was chatting I played golf with a mate the other day and we were just chatting and I was like, fuck man, you should just do this shit.
Yeah.
Like stop
Yeah.
stop this shit. I don't want to hear that you fucking hate your job anymore and you can the writing's on the wall. Like you're going to have to find another job. I'm like, just open your own fucking business.
Yeah, let's do
And
it.
then yesterday he's like, rings me, he's like, oh, so just with the car, he's like, do you own your car through your business? And I'm like, fuck, yes.
It's happening.
But just sometimes like, that's a really fulfilling feeling.
Yeah.
And that is an automatic thing, like you were saying with your connections that you have.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, it'd be nice to fall in line and have someone just be like, yeah, man, like.
Yeah. So I had this literal conversation on the way in the car.
Of course you did.
We were like, we should be recording this.
Yeah.
I told the story on the pod the other week about like being in the room with like $25 million people at the table and how they were like, no, you actually provided a lot of value to them.
Yeah.
Being the fucking 60K personal trainer. So what I've accepted, leaders will always lead, but you can, if you put ego aside, allow someone else to lead you in their space.
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy tomorrow's event. There's not a skerrick of my thought this week has gone into how do I run Saturday because Jess has fucking got it. And when I get there, I'll be like, what do you need me to do?
Yeah.
Because you're a leader straight away. And then if I ask Loz a question and I'm like, I feel like this, I'm not pushing back. It's like, I feel this way. What do you think? What should I do? If she comes back with question, there's no like, fuck, I just wanted you to tell me it's okay.
Yeah.
There's none of that. It's like, okay, take the lead. Lead me down this conversation, this thought pattern, and let me be there. And that's when I sit back and go, everyone is the leader.
Yeah.
You just are one.
Yeah.
I think like when you guys are talking about, you know, like it would be nice for someone to be able to pull me up. I think what like a common misconception is that we think that like that the person who's going to drag us up is necessarily have to be above us. And I just don't think that that's true.
So
like,
true.
because say for example, like in this room or like being a part of this is dragging me up, but I don't see it as a hierarchy. I see it as like a fuck. I found people who want to do this shit together. And so it's not like, oh, when am I going to meet someone who is doing better than me and they're going to teach me? It's just like, oh, let's kind of run along.
Who do we vibe with?
Yeah, who are we going to do it with?
Goes, yeah.
Because then like that's connection to me. Like mentors can be, it doesn't have to necessarily be your manager, say like in like a hierarchy in corporate or whatever. They can be just people who like make you think differently. They can be people who you can bring like your wins to, because that's becoming like, you know, more rare. Someone who you can be like, hey, I earned this much money this week. It's a big milestone for me. And they're not like, oh, but you know,
Stop talking about salary. It's so rude.
yeah. I don't like talking about finance. I'm like, fuck yeah, how'd you do it? Let's do it again. Like those people, I think, is where you can kind of find it and still learn from. And it's more of like a bi-directional mentor mentee than a one way.
I'm not being rude. I have
It's
notes.
so true.
You what?
I'm not being rude. I have notes.
Oh,
My phone on, just like while you're talking, like looking at my phone, like, I have notes. What's up, guys? Another quick break. I just wanted to jump in and remind you guys about the STC Fit Learning Mentorship. Now, our mentorship's been running since about 2016, where we've developed trainers through their first year of business in personal training and allowed them to leapfrog the first 5 years of mistakes that we made. If you're currently studying, looking to finish in the next month or so, or you're looking for someone to help you out with mentoring and all that kind of stuff, jump on, have a look at the details for the mentorship at stcfitlearning.com. Head to programs and mentorship and all the details are there. And you can come and be an STC Fit coach for an entire year. Includes all of our education and direct mentoring from our head coaches. Back to the episode. So I'm curious. So we just had dialogue as people who have probably been experienced this a little bit longer. How you guys, Jess, you said first exposure ish.
Yeah.
To this level.
Yeah.
Have you thought this is probably going to happen a lot now? Or are you still, that fucking sucked. I hope that never happens again.
No, I think like I've had like micro doses of it before, like even just being a mum that's an online coach that will post photos not wearing a lot of clothes because that's how I train and live. Already had it in that. So like when I think about it, it's been there, but not really from people that I necessarily respected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So like
that's a big difference.
That's like, feel like it's in a different thing now. Cause I'm like, oh, that's fine. You do you. I don't aspire to be anything like you are anyway. So this was the first situation where I was like, I don't love that, but I know that it's not going to be the last time. I just think that, yeah, there's a difference between it like happening versus disrespect happening as well. But it's probably going to happen again. And it makes me feel sick to think about it. But it's like, okay, like got past this, fine. Have a solution to this, fine. It's not going to change the way I go about my day. If anything, it's driving me further.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can accept that it's probably going to happen again.
Can I jump in just for a sec? Because I have a question for you. When Jess was saying that like she doesn't feel, it makes her feel a bit unwell to think about it happening again. Can you flip that into a positive? Like, is that a positive way of looking at the feeling side of things? Like, because when she said that, like for me, I'm like, if that happens to me, I know where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. So if I'm getting the heat, we'll call it, then I've turned, because initially it didn't feel great. So I had the same response. I was like, fucking asshole's upset, whatever. But now I'm like, I don't know if it's a maturity thing. Like I'm just like, just wait 5 years and you'll understand. Yeah. Like I think it's more like I've now gone, if I feel this way, that is a sign that I'm doing the thing and I'm getting the heat because I'm doing exactly what I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a couple of layers to it. Like the first one is like when you're expecting to feel a certain way, because it sounds like, the next time this happens, like I'm going to not like it. It's kind of knowing that, okay, well, when I feel like that, it's because of this. Like if you can kind of apply, I'm not saying out logic or emotion, but it does help you to understand why you are feeling a certain way and not just like, oh, this feels bad, I want to make it stop. Yeah. The second part is all like discomfort is really only uncomfortable, not really because of like the thing that's happening, just because of like what we're telling ourselves about it. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I used this analogy the other day and I think it's great for the PT space. It's like when you enter into a deficit, right? I'm the queen of analogies. Ben's know this. It's my second language. When you go into a deficit, right? And then people go, I'm really hungry. You can go like, oh, I'm really hungry. This sucks. Or you can be like, hey, it's working. Yeah. Yeah. Like hunger means you're in a deficit normally. Yeah. So it's like if you can start attributing that story to like, oh, I feel a little bit hungry, that means the thing that I'm trying to achieve, I am achieving. It's not really that uncomfortable anymore. It's just like, it's really just a physical sensation like anything else, right? It's just that you attribute that feeling in your stomach to like, I need food. It's the same thing in like, feeling uncomfortable because you maybe don't fit in with your friends as much as you did anymore. And you're like, oh, I really want to because that feels comfortable and it feels safe. Or if they're giving opinions about, she shouldn't be saying that, or like, who does she think she is posting those photos like she's a mom or whatever it is. It's been like, well, if no one was fucking talking about me, I wouldn't be doing anything. Yeah. Like no one speaks about people who aren't doing anything. And so it's like, well, what story do you want to tell yourself about those opinions? It doesn't have to be my story about them. Like, that's a story that I kind of tell. I often say to myself, well, like, this is part of it.
Yeah.
This is part of it. It's just the way that it is.
The exact line I've been trying to tell myself, like, it's happening for a good reason.
Yeah.
Like, you are better off, and they're not happy. You're better off. It's actually fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay that it's this way because your life's better.
It's making sure that you
I'm
don't
doing
go
it.
like too much one way though, because I think so much, and I've done this too, where you almost like invalidate your own experience by going like, okay, like this is fine. It's part of success. Like it doesn't even matter. Fuck them. It's like, no, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it
You feel
hurts.
kind of shitty at the same time.
Yeah.
It
right?
feels shit. You can feel sad. Maybe the tribe that I once belonged to, I don't belong to anymore. And I have to almost like grieve that part of my life.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's like the working through that
Yeah.
is like, okay, cool. I'm on the other end now. So it's like easier to be like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, this is fine. Yeah. But it's cool. Thank you so much. I like don't need to go to therapy next week.
Yeah. I think it's
For
even
free?
Sick.
coming out the other side, I guess, like what you said with the expectation. I went through similar phase to you with the friendship group where I was like expecting to not fit in, to expecting to not be able to have good conversations, expecting to feel like an outsider. Because I also live 2 hours away from my core group of long-term friends.
Yeah.
And my life's totally different. So they see each other weekly, I see them quarterly. So I'm already walking in like, oh, I'm like the outsider and my life's totally different and everything's really weird. Being able to just turn it to like, how do we make this valuable for everyone? What conversations could I lead with? What questions could I ask? What is valuable to them that I'll get something out of? What perspective do they have that's maybe different that'll make me think? And at the end of the day, like there's always value in feeling like someone gives a shit about you. And I think even when you've grown into a different direction, you can still love and care for people who aren't in the same
Oh,
direction.
100%.
And they can still love and care for you.
Yeah.
And that at times is enough to be like, this is useful.
Yeah.
That's where people get stuck, because I think this is one of the biggest things that holds people back is this like, I don't have the people around me, or I maybe feel like I want to be different to the people around me, feel different to current me, right? It stops a lot of people because it's scary to be on your own.
Yeah.
And so people think that they have to, in order for me to say I don't fit in with my current circle anymore, that must mean that I'm saying I'm better than them.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm saying, or that's not what the person is saying, or they're saying like, I don't like that person anymore, or they're a bad person.
Yeah.
None of those things have to be true.
Definitely.
You can just say it's like, it's a phase. Like not every, like this whole kind of high school, like best friends forever, like kind of thing. Sometimes it's just over.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a big blow up, and it doesn't have to be that you hate each other and one person's decision to go and raise a family and have, 3 kids and a marriage is the wrong one. It's just not my one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people way more successful than us, like hyper successful people, you'll hear them talk about relationships in a way that makes it sound transactional. I think a much better word than transactional is transitional. So they can, like we were saying before, it could be a great relationship for a month, or it could be 10 years. They're still valuable. So I think, like you said, the best friends forever thing, it doesn't matter if like your friends are going to be your best friends forever. The time that you had that relationship with them is important. And then when you meet new people, it's like, I don't necessarily need you to be my best friend forever and not have any other friends, and get, especially girls do it all the time. You went there with her and not me, and that sort of stuff. Guys are just like, oh, okay.
Not my girls, but
Yeah.
So I think, like if you can understand that all relationships have different, not even expiry dates, but different stages and phases within them, where you'll be closer, less close. It'll mean different things at different times. I think the only caveat I would put in, and I'm really grateful to have this, none of my friends will ever talk, at least to my face, talk shit about my success. They're always happy for me.
I would say then on that, then like that's where the line gets drawn.
Yeah.
Is it's not like, oh, you know, they don't have to be bad people. We don't have to have a blow up. If you've got a friend talking shit about your success, they are no longer your friend. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that's this black and white. Like, then you do, you don't have to get superior or whatever. It's just like, this is a standard that I'm holding for the relationships in my life, and you no longer meet it.
Yeah.
So you got to go.
Yeah. I think because I'm so hungry right now, and I know you are as well.
Yeah, because Ben forgot the protein bars.
Stab.
I mean,
Metaphorically.
I know.
For the listeners at home who don't get a joke. I think the rate of exposure is important. And that's the other thing I've kind of reflected on as well, is like, because I'm so hungry, like I just want to sit at the table with a bunch of fucking winners, savages who just are just like, it's not you should take the day off and you should have a deload. I'm just like, you should just go to the gym and fucking send it. Like, you know, work it out. You know, I think because I'm so hungry right now for that, I think my exposure to other people is lesser, but that is a conscious choice as well. And I think that awareness is important, because it's not like I'm better than these people and I'm better than this and I'm better than that or whatever. It's just like I need to surround myself with people that I can get the most out of myself.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've said this to you, being like, I think you're the first friend that if I'm like, fuck, I am exhausted, he's like, you can keep going, but also knows when it's like, okay, you maybe need a rest.
Yeah.
But like everyone else in my life is like, oh, you've been doing so much and you need to take a break and blah, blah. And I'm like, that's not what I need. I need someone to be like, you've got this, get up and do it again.
Yeah.
And it's like having people around you like that is, it's hard to find, because it's like the people who are telling you to take a rest are doing it because they think it's going to help, but it's just not going to help me.
And it's what they would do.
They don't know how else to communicate.
Yeah.
Because so what Ben says and what your, let's say, metaphorical friend says, they both mean the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to, like, this person doesn't know how to say it. And that's Ben's way of telling you what he thinks as well. So it's not that that's what I mean by you just need to have a awareness of the exposure that you have to groups, because it's like, what are you trying to get out of that? And it's like, if your goal right now, like my goal right now is like, let's fucking go. Like, that's it. It's just like rocket emoji.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, I just want, nothing else
Wag
matters outside of getting jacked and succeeding in my career.
Yeah.
There's not really much else that's important to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not really going to go to my circle of high school friends and be like, oh, man, I'm like, work's really tough and I'm tired. Because they're going to be like, oh, we should go away for the weekend and get fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, you reset the batteries, take a bunch of mushies, and, you know, you'll come back feeling refreshed. I need to go to the person I can lean on the most and be like, I'm really overwhelmed right now. And he's like, where do we start?
Yeah.
Like, what do you need to dial things back in? And then I'm like, okay, well, that's more valuable right now. And then, every 3 to 6 months, I'm like, I need that. And it's like, cool, let's go.
The perspective is really interesting, and you just said the line that I would say. Your perspective of my answer is you can keep going. But what I hope, and I think if you look, 99% of the time I say, what do you need to do right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you say, I need to finish the project.
Yeah.
So you think I said that to you, but I don't. It's just like, what do you need?
Yeah.
And it's like, I need to just fucking go outside for 10 minutes.
That literally is what got me, because like I am very much the same in the, I'm young, I'm going to work my ass off right now. I can be tired and I can keep going. Like, you know, choosing to be in this stage of life with a 2-year-old and choosing not to put him in like daycare and like choosing not to do that because I know the importance of being there with him and wanting to be with him, but then wanting to hold my own and build wealth and wanting to train and look and feel a certain way. But having you guys, where I'm fortunate I'm in the industry that I'm in as well, but it's like, I don't think once you guys have ever said to me like, you should probably have a sleep in, Jess.
Yeah.
Because when I tell you like, hey guys, I'm just letting you know my new work hours are 5 to 8:30 p.m. because that's when I need to work. You're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Noted. Not once have you guys ever made me feel like, okay, you should probably just stop and go to bed.
Yeah.
Or like, why do you train?
That's not what people do.
Right?
That's not normal work hours. Like,
and
no,
that's
it's like
and
whatever
like,
gets the best out of you.
And that's like being in rooms with this, like that's normal. Whereas when I speak to my friends who I love so dearly, then I'm like, yeah, like it's okay. Like I have to wake up at 4 to train and get home before Bryce leaves from work and then spend the whole day with my son. And then when Bryce gets back into the door I'm working again at night. And they're like, but when do you stop? And it's like, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't. And then we socialize on the weekends. But this is life. And this is cool. And I don't need a break from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like, that comes back to the choose who you tell.
Yeah.
And I've stopped telling. Yeah. I just don't tell anyone really like, oh, I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. Because it's like, I know me, and I'll tell the people who are going to give me what I need. I think, just like a point that I want to make is like on this kind of other people's opinions that we were talking about before, a really, really important part is like knowing yourself and like what's important to you. Like you said, Jace, like right now it's work and training and we're fucking getting after it. Like, you know that that's your why and that's where you're heading. So it's like, you kind of don't need anybody else to understand that.
Yeah.
And so like it's learning to be like misunderstood is such a skill, because it's like, it's a trainable thing. I think you get better at it, but you can't I see people like wasting so much time trying to make everybody else understand. Or like, yeah, but I can work this hard because I don't have a partner and I sleep enough, blah, blah, blah. I'm just doing it and you don't have to do it. And I'm like, I'll be in there. Like, but it's learning that you don't have to make everybody around you understand, but you can only get to that point if you know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So, because then it's like they can say anything in the world. They can say like, oh, they just want money, or they, whatever it is. And it's like, cool. Because I know that's not true. Like, I know me. And that's when it's like, this comes back to the same messaging of like, well, who are you like when no one's around? And it's like, there's different ways to the top. I'm going on a bit of a rant now, but like, there's different ways to the top, right? Yeah. And it's like, you can get there, but how do you get there? And you have to have integrity and, not promoting things that you don't believe in and all of those sorts of things. It's like, you've got to sit down, you got to work out like what is valuable to you? What do you fucking stand for? Not just when people have a camera on you, like what do you stand for when like you have to have a business conversation with someone and you might be able to lie and get out of it, or tell the truth and it's going to be harder. Tell the fucking truth, because you have to go to sleep at night and know who you are. And it's like, that's where confidence comes from. That's where the ability to like feel misunderstood comes from. It's like, I go to sleep at night knowing why I do what I do, knowing that I treat the people around me with the respect and love and, dignity that I would want. I choose difficult over easy because it's the better thing to do. It's like, then the other people, I like the other people's opinions, I don't even hear them anymore because I just know myself so well that it's like, it's just air. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Slow claps.
That's huge. Right, I have one more, otherwise Tam's going to bash us.
Probably.
A lot of bashing going on in this
really
podcast.
Curious.
Yeah, I keep hearing Loz is going to bash us. I've not threatened physical violence once.
No, it's just what we say.
Yeah. It's your aura.
It's just what we say.
Yeah.
If it's not you, it's usually me.
I give bashy vibes.
I'm usually bashing people, so I'm just great. It's not me today.
You get to have a day off.
So this one's a true or false. When you begin your career, you have more fear than hope. Agree or disagree?
Personally,
yeah,
I had way more hope than fear.
Interesting.
Like, so much. Yeah, but I had the shittest job in the world before it. So I think that like, and
so you don't feel like you had a chip on your shoulder for the first 5 years?
No, I didn't.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I think it was like, I don't know, I just like always knew I wanted, like I'm probably like a bit of an exception to the norm because it just was so dialed in on just like, this is it.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm not exercising any other option. I'm going to be the best personal trainer ever. And I was just like, go to school, go to the gym, went into the gym, and I was like, I'm just going to tear this place apart. Didn't mean I didn't have like doubt and it wasn't a great time and I wanted to quit at one point.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I had way more hope than fear. Because I was like, this is going to work out. I'm going to make this happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had more fear than hope. I had way more fear than hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To caveat, if I was to do it now, I'd have way more fear. And I think like as you get older, you just think of the bad shit.
You've also got more to lose.
Yeah, well, that's right. So it's like now I navigate a lot of my decisions with fear.
Yeah. So I'm curious.
I'm
curious. So I agree that you had the driver and that's what you wanted to do. I wonder the extra level, the extra drive, the willingness to do 50 sessions, 400 sessions across the team, slog yourself to the bone, if any of that came from doing it tough in your upbringing, and you're like, I'll never have that. So this
100.
drive is like
100%.
That's what I mean by the chip.
Sorry,
on the shoulder.
When I was 20, I had to get out of my degree because I couldn't get the job that I wanted based on a medical thing that I can't change no matter what I try.
Yeah.
And I was already at 23 years into paying rent. So if I didn't get from 0 to 40 sessions in my first 12 weeks, I didn't have a roof over my head anymore because my annual leave would like run out from my last job.
Yeah.
So it was like purely, I was hopeful that I was finally going to have a job that I enjoyed. And there was absolutely a huge element of hope that I could do this and be this and be that person. But there was absolutely, it was mainly driven by fear.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do this, I'm not eating.
Loz?
I've had quite a few careers. I would say all hope, though. I've been very fortunate to not be in a position like that.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an underlying reason why you go as hard as you do?
I have tried to figure this out. My dad's always been like a very, very hard worker. I wasn't trying to... I think I was always very good at things growing up. I was, quite athletic, played a lot of sport, pretty much like straight A student, just things great. Not easily, but I just had it quite across the board.
If you applied it.
Yeah. And I could tell when you're like, I work really hard, but I also know that if that person worked this hard at school, they probably still wouldn't understand it to the degree that I do. And then so I think I learned that I got praise from like, I am the hard worker. And so I probably had that identity quite early on. People like me because I'm good at things. People like me because I work hard. Yeah. So I think
that would be the fear trigger if there's one.
Yeah,
people like me for what I do.
I have to keep doing this because this is me. That's where it was. It's not driven from there anymore. Definitely was early on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I heard Stephen Bartlett's Diary of CEO guy. That he said every hyper successful person he's ever sat down with is driven by fear way more than they are hope.
Yeah.
Like every billionaire he's ever met, every successful person he's like met that's like gone and wrote a book, for example. It's like he says that all of them are like, people will ask you like, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay so driven? He's like, I'm not like pulling myself to something. I'm fucking running.
You're running away from something.
Yeah. And they were sort of then went on to back and forwards. And it's like, that's actually really useful to harness. And I would say I probably used mine for too long. They were like 5 years. I reckon I probably lent on mine for 8 to 10. It was just a chip on the shoulder of just like, fuck you. I'll show you, that kind of attitude. So it was really interesting. And I like looking at younger personal trainers coming up, and we always do the like, they've got it.
Yeah.
They've got it. And it's not, we all got into personal training, and this is what Stephen said. He's like, I lied to myself for the first 10 years of my career why I was doing what I was doing. It was like, I wanted to help people, or I wanted to do this, or I wanted to do this. And it's like, they're real reasons. You still care about them and they are valuable to you. Yeah. But it's like, you don't do the 50 sessions for that.
No.
You don't do the sleepless nights. You don't do the fucking
work on the weekend and shit. Yeah.
You don't do that stuff just because you like helping people.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in an industry where people were doing what I liked and I could develop some flexibility.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to ask for permission to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Like you do in an office cubicle.
Yeah. But now, like, I hope I'm not stepping out of line with this. For you, I would almost say, like, but that gave you so much control over your life, your choices and your decisions that you never had. And you're like, no one will affect my life like that again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is fascinating. And I think the reason I wanted to bring it up is I think a lot of personal trainers, when they come into the industry, get lost a little bit in hope, and it's like they don't want to look at the fear side. But sometimes the fear is what makes the extra phone call.
Yeah, well, a lot of people will run away scared from change because change is different, right? And something that I say to clients a lot is like, yeah, it can feel scary that because if you're going into something new, you don't know what's coming, really. Like you can look at other people but you really are taking a step forward, not really sure where you're going to land. And that can feel, people get like loss aversion where it's like, okay, well, I kind of know I want the thing, but I don't want to lose like what I have right now. So I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
And it's like, it has to get to the point where you're like, well, I don't know what I'm going towards, but I'm fucking not going back there.
Yeah.
And like, that's enough. Like that's enough to push you forward.
Yeah. People ask me why I got into the fitness industry.
Yeah.
And I was like, I sold memberships and then I'd just never see them after 4 weeks. And it was really sad. So I just wanted to go on the other side. It's like, so fucking why?
Yeah.
I got rejected from a promotion and I wanted control over my career.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show people in my life that I could fucking do it.
Yeah.
Whatever you said I couldn't do, I'm going to do it. And then it just so happened that 8 years later, or over that time, within 12 months, I fucking loved it. And I was like, I'm going to do this forever. And that's like, from day one, it was like, we, because it was never, STC was never going to be me. So there was still that side of it. But I think people try and ignore this like fucking demon in the back of your mind that's talking to you, and they try and squash it. And I think it's valuable sometimes because I've seen you do it where it's just like, this needs to get done. And it's like that comes from a place that's really useful that a lot of us were like, no, I just want to like really help people. It's like,
Go dark.
You know why it is?
it's awesome that you can. And it's when you get to the point. So they sort of said like 5 years is after that, go to therapy. Like, like go and find a deeper, purposeful why after that, because you won't sustain it.
It'll change though, right?
Well, and that's the other thing,
think
like the transition that I'm going through now. And you made the comment on the podcast. You were like, I knew when Ben and Amy got pregnant, shit would just hit the fan.
Yeah.
Because it was like there was going to be another level of obligation and reason, and that's not fear. So it's like, what's the driving force now? Why is it I haven't had a day off? We had 3 days off in the city for 3 months. It's like, because it has to fucking happen.
I would propose that it almost is, because I'm thinking when you said, I've seen you do it's just got to get done.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know why that is? It's because I picture myself, I've developed quite a strong ability to like forward project, as in like picture different futures, which I think is a skill that helps everybody. I picture myself not doing the work and feeling that I did this or I didn't do it. Like that disappointment. I could have done better.
Yeah.
I could have done more and I didn't. And that I'm like, I am more afraid of that than I am afraid of anything else.
Yeah.
And I just know that it'll just get me off the couch or anything. Like, and so I would say even with like, you know, with yourself and Amy and Biscuit, it's a fear of like, what if it comes and I haven't done enough to kind of, you know, provide the life for my child that I don't have any kids, so I'm speaking out of turn here, but like, you know, it's a fear of a future, not so much like a past, because that's what
it is a fear of repeating the past.
Well, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Child won't have what I had. And my thing is that I repeat to myself all the time, my get out of bed when you can't be fucked, do the thing when you don't want to. I want Parker to have options.
Yeah.
That's it. That like whatever those options are for him, whatever that looks like, I want him to have all of them. Have every single option. And that's it. So like, that's all future, not past, but kind of past.
Because you didn't.
But went to therapy.
Like,
go
to therapy,
look,
kids.
I don't think you should wait 5 years to go to therapy, but I think it was more if you haven't
You shouldn't be running off the same.
If you haven't started to find another why,
Yeah.
at that point, it's like you're gonna crash.
Yeah.
And like we talk about different interpretations of what burnout and all that kind of stuff, and usually I just think burnout's lack of inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is probably a genuine burnout. If I lived in fuck you forever,
you'd be so tired.
I was going to say
relationships would have blown up.
I was going to say it's
Business would have
exhausting to
blown
live
up.
in. Probably why I navigated more towards the hope thing at the start. But really, when you think about it, was the fear of going back to the shit job, right?
Yeah.
But it's like it's exhausting to think about running your life in fear.
Off that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. It's just so bad energy.
That was a fucking cool chat.
That was.
Gotta stop. We have to fucking stop.
Tam's
like, these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
You know, it's like when you listen to like Huberman, or you don't, but like they're like 3 hours. They're like, how do they do that? I get it. I could do it.
We
I
just
could do
did it.
Yeah. I could do it.
Literally just spoke for 3 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, with other podcasts.
Yeah.
With a protein bar break that I didn't bring.
I'm so hungry.
Same.
Mine's real hunger, not hunger for success.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's not metaphorical. At
I've
this
got
point.
a lot of metaphorical and physical hunger right
Yeah,
now. It's fine.
I was
I'm-
worried
I'm
that you
with
could
ya.
like hear my stomach rumbling.
Get 4 lifters in a room and make them not eat for 2 hours. And we're like, ugh.
Okay, so if you go to the stc.learn Instagram account, you'll be able to find all the links you need to find out more about Loz. She's tagged in the post and stuff. What's your Instagram handle?
Loz_ready.
Sweet. And I think that's it. Reminder for the program
workshop.
last week.
Stop
of
thinking
sale.
about it. Get your tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what can we make them scared of? Like
No, it's just
too
like-
busy.
Failure.
Yeah. If
Being
you don't come,
shit.
you'll fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fear of writing shit programs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No rationale.
Yes. There's only 20 tickets, and I believe more than half of them are already sold. And I know that
There's no belief. They are.
Yeah.
They are, yeah.
We have receipts.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Thank you, Jess.
It is.
Jess
Yeah.
runs the events. That's why I say I think.
Let's do this. Get your tickets.
So get your tickets before they run out. The venue is fire again.
The
Thank
content
you, Jess.
is amazing.
Yeah, Jace has stepped it up, so now I have to spend another week in fear that Jace's will be better than mine.
We're all just
So-
leaving this episode real scared.
I'll have to fucking stay up and work late and get the shit done.
It's all right, man. You can lean on me if you need a pep
Thanks,
talk.
bro.
So I got you,
Thanks,
bro.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
So welcome. That was
I know
so
you
much
flew
fun.
in just for the podcast,
Yeah.
so we appreciate it. Have a good week, guys. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.